If you thought selfies are a 21st century thing, think again. It has existed through history and kept resurfacing time and again. The ghost of the selfie has been around longer than we know. This image was taken by removing the lens cap, running into the frame and standing for a minute before covering the lens again. The French government did not give this man due credit for his work, so he chose to pose as a dead man and protest. Clamps were used to take self-portraits. This man mocks that technique using double exposure. The youngest daughter of the Russian Tsar happens to be the first teenager to take a selfie, and that too a mirror selfie. And this one where Armstrong is both the photographer and the photographed. Fast forward to the 21st century where the selfie hit the scene like a tsunami with Oxford Dictionary recognizing it as an official word. And the selfie bug bites all from common men to the president. Obama was no different from you and me. Selfie became the universal leveler.
Prune.
The real Obama is a selfie-taking guy. He's cool not because he's considered the most important man on the earth, but because he takes selfies. And the best entry in the Academy 2014 went to the Oscar selfie.
All right.
My arm's definitely better.
Okay. Hey, that's good. Look at us. So selfies have traveled across the world, from the most powerful to the most powerless. Selfies have a message to convey. This is what some of our selfie takers have to say.
kind of reflects the loneliness that people have, that you're constantly wanting to upload all your personal moments out there for people to see all the time. I think it's a very inherent loneliness. This reflects a very inherent loneliness, that you want to see people, people see you in your daily life, and that I think that's the best way to do it. So I think people get kind of crazy because they want to see how crazy, they want people to see how crazy they are, and I think they see it as an extension of their personality, which is something I think unhealthy.
तो जब हम सेल्फ़ी लेते हैं तो सेल्फ़ी के लिए ध्यान में रहता है कि हम अच्छे दिखें उसमें, या फिर अगर मान लो मैंने वोट किया है तो वोट करते वक्त उस चीज़ को रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए हम सेल्फ़ी लेते हैं, और वो हमारा काफ़ी पर्सनल होता है। बट जब हम प्रोफेशनली फ़ोटो शूट कर रहे होते हैं तो हमारे ध्यान में रहता है कि हमारा कॉम्पोजिशन कैसा है, फ़ोटो किस एंगल पे लिया है हम लोगों ने, नोज़ रूम है या नहीं है, हेड रूम है या नहीं है उसमें। और बेसिकली वो फ़ोटो हम क्योंकि पब्लिश करने वाले होते हैं, लोग फेसबुक या ट्विटर पे डालने वाले होते हैं, तो उस पर कंपोजिशन, टेक्निकल थिंग्स का ज़्यादा ध्यान रखते हैं। वाइल सेल्फ़ी लेते वक्त या तो हमें व्हाट्सएप पे डालना होता है या फिर अपने दोस्त या फिर खुद के पास ही रखना होता है, लाइक वो काफ़ी पर्सनल होता है। तो सेल्फ़ी में हमें ज़्यादातर हम ये ध्यान देते हैं कि हम अच्छे दिखें।
I personally feel my right profile is good, so I always try to showcase that part more than my left part. So I always hold my camera in my left hand and try to place it above my head, and I use some filters as well. I'm fond of some applications like Redrica and Candy Camera as well. So even if the natural lights are not perfect, so those filters add some spark in it.
Well, I normally want to take selfies with my friends when we are all together and I know that I won't be meeting them for a long time. So I do keep insisting, and yeah, sometimes they go away with it.
It is almost widely understood by now that selfies are related to a large range of psychological conditions. According to renowned American psychologist David Weil, 2 out of 3 of the patients who come to see him are with body dysmorphic disorder. Since the rise of camera phones have a compulsion to repeatedly take and post selfies on social media sites, selfies with animals, selfies with injuries, selfies with any strange element qualifies as something special. 19-year-old almost took his life for not being able to take that perfect selfie.
It started when I was 15 years old and was triggered by sort of a want to, get girls interested in me. And I didn't have that at that period, and I felt the only way to get that would be to seek perfection. Yeah, it was 10 hours a day, 200 selfies. And the thing is, this wouldn't happen if it wasn't in a media age. This is a very new thing, selfies, and the fact that in modern, with modern technology, it can actually be quite severe. This kind of thing can happen to anyone.
Right.
Mm-hmm. For me, I think it manifests itself with the selfies. With other people, it manifests itself in other ways. But I think the important message is that it's not abnormal. I got fantastic treatment from the Maudsley Hospital in London and the great work, they do. And luckily managed to sort of take steps, to stop taking the selfies. But I think there's a bigger issue here too. I think there's a bigger issue about the way people, look at mental illness in general. Mm-hmm. I think I was in the Daily Mirror yesterday, and some of the comments I got about, vanity and things like that, I think there's just a complete misunderstanding of mental illness.
One of our team members spoke to a psychologist based in Kolkata, Dr. Anutama Banerjee. She contributed to our effort by giving her opinion on all these aspects of the selfie.
How much engrossed are we in this process? That perhaps talks about the negative effects. So, for example, just a few days back when this bridge fell down in Calcutta, we saw that some people even went there and took selfie with a broken bridge. Now, that something is definitely not desired, because this is absolutely not not contextually appropriate.
Right.
So I think when we are taking any kind of picture, whether it's concerning the self or something else, capturing a moment and exhibiting that, if
Right.
it is becoming socially insensitive, socially inappropriate in some way.
Thinspiration, as the name suggests, is a body type inspired by extremely thin people. India joined Instagram when she was 14. She weighed 57 kilos when she joined the social network. Battling an eating disorder got worse as she was continuously called fat by some of her followers. She said she loved observing her thigh gap increase. She was eventually admitted to the hospital in 2013 when her weight dropped to 38 kilos for over 6 months. She's now 17 and weighs 47 kilos and is still fighting anorexia while being fairly popular on Instagram.
But how frequently I keep expressing myself, I keep showing my own face, and why at all I am doing that without any context, perhaps these are the areas which need to be assessed before we take any conclusion or make any conclusion about selfie. When we are looking at this factor, when somebody is sharing each and every moment, capturing each and every moment, whether it's, somewhat meaningful or not, whether it's relevant or not, then perhaps we have to look into ourselves and we have to somewhere pause and ask ourselves that why do I have to keep exhibiting what exactly I'm trying to prove about myself? Why do I have to keep proving? Is there somewhere maybe the sense of inadequacy or the sense of inferiority that one is trying to cover up by putting up an image which would prove something which the person actually thinks she or he doesn't have?
Facebook facelifts are not exactly facelifts. They are relatively minor procedures which people in their 20s and 30s get done to improve their pictures on the social media.
I think the trend is absolutely growing and is likely to grow much faster. People in villages are using the internet and the social media. They may not have a lot of electricity, but they still are able to use the social media.
फेसबुक पार्टनर ढूंढने के लिए अच्छी है इसलिए क्योंकि उसमें हर तरह के लोग लाइक करते हैं। मेरे को थोड़ा मेरा पेट थोड़ा कम दिखे कि मेरे फ्रेंड्स वगैरह जो फेसबुक यूज़ करते हैं, लाइक करते हैं, तो वो कहते हैं कि थोड़ा तुम्हें पतला होना चाहिए, दिखना चाहिए। तो इस हिसाब से मुझे चाहिए कि थोड़ा स्मार्ट दिखूँ, इसलिए मैं करना चाहता हूँ।
That you mentioned, if it's authentic, then it must be alarming because this actually talks about how one is being too occupied with the self, being disconnected from the external world and the external reality. So I think any behavior which is making me completely disconnected from my immediate surrounding, from my immediate reality, that is disturbing my connection to my world, the connection to the outer areas of my world. Of course, one can be introspective at times, that one can be slightly absent-minded at times, that's fine. But then just to take a picture of myself, if I meet with an accident or something like that, then perhaps the priorities need to be, reviewed because somewhere we are not understanding in order to, resolve something within myself, in order to establish something about the self, we are missing out the important fundamental elements around the self. So I think that negotiation is very crucial, and we have to look into that, because if we are disconnected from our reality, because for any sort of psychological issue or something, we need to see how functionally involved I am with my reality, how meaningfully involved I am with my reality, how am I negotiating with my reality, how am I dealing with my reality. So if any activity is putting me in a box where I'm completely cut off from the reality, then definitely that needs to be addressed in more crucial and more serious way.